Hello, hello! Welcome back to the Descendants of Trưng podcast. Hope you haven't forgotten about us already. This is your host, Sen. Alright, lately I've been hooked on a particular video game because recently I met an incredible and young lady who showed me that it is possible to play video games and come up with ideas to save the world. 27-year-old Vo Nguyen Minh Thuy from Cần Thơ City, the capital of the Mekong Delta region, is going to tell us all about that. She is the lead of Project Raincraft, an environmental education initiative that uses the popular game Minecraft. Alright, if you don't know what Minecraft is, it is an open-ended video game where players can explore and build virtual realities, whatever they like. It has simple graphics and players create everything just using blocks. You can mine, chop trees, and work with resources to build structures, sometimes of surprising complexity. It is this open-ended nature of Minecraft that Thuy recognizes as a safe-to-fail platform for young people to try out ideas. If they're frustrated with constant flooding on their street, if they're itching for a way to fix the uncared park they see every day, they can see how the solutions they come up with would look like on Minecraft. Here's Thuy telling us about Raincraft.
Thì các bạn tập trung vào quản lý nước và đô thị thông minh.
Raincraft teaches young people about water management and smart cities ideas. So when they joined, the participants explored things like water management systems, water supply, and drainage systems, and urban flooding. And throughout the program, they came up and tested their ideas to solve these problems.
Hi, xin chào tất cả các bạn, nhóm mình là SpongeBob đây. Chào mừng các bạn đã đến với dự án của chúng mình.
So in the first month, Raincraft participants attend workshops every Saturday, which offer various interactive activities to first, learn about the technical water-related topics I mentioned earlier, and second, they learn how to design a project. With the first stuff, they learned this directly on Minecraft Education, which is a game-based classroom tool to play and learn at the same time. We also prepared interactive activities revolving around climate change, what caused it, what are the impacts and the relationships between these two things. After that, the workshops are about how to come up with a project. We focus on skills like identifying problems, proposing solutions, writing proposals, and developing budgets for running a project. Then they have a month to design and build their own Minecraft model and develop their proposed solutions for a problem based on that model.
Raincraft is a project under the Water Agency, a Dutch social enterprise specialized in water issues in Asia. The project is sponsored by the U.S. Consulate in Vietnam with support from Cần Thơ University, home to the Mekong Delta's leading experts. The participants' ideas will be reported to the university, who may take their ideas into account when the next campus planning is point. If they are lucky, their ideas might be brought further up to the city planner leadership level to be applied citywide. So Raincraft builds a bridge between the young and decision makers so adults can learn from what they think the city should look like. For Thuy, Raincraft helps redefine the narrative on climate change for Gen Z because this narrative to her at times is too pessimistic.
From what I'm seeing about many environmental projects for young people to address climate change, I have a sense that they are rather creating a negative feeling. They lean more towards extreme views rather than developing a positive outlook. So in my project, I want to limit exposures to these negative views while at the same time, I'm aware that it's important for a young learner to see the whole picture. But not everything can be blamed on climate change, you know?
That's right. A lot is what is happening in the Mekong Delta. Water pollution, urban flooding, degrading soils, etc. is a result of man-made actions and policy failures before climate change effects even kicks in.
There was this one group in Raincraft that went filming the drainage system on a street and then developed their idea to redesign Cần Thơ City drainage system.
Hiểu được tình trạng đó, nhóm em đã nảy ra ý tưởng mong muốn được thay thế một phần hệ thống thoát nước.
They want their model to both, filter out debris and limit water overflowing onto the roads during rainy seasons and seasons of natural flooding in the Mekong Delta. I was really impressed when I saw what everybody had come up with. They are really skilled at Minecraft and their ideas were very creative.
Raincraft was organized last May and attracted kids from middle school age to university level. Some parents raised their eyebrows about sending their kids to an extracurricular to play video game. Thuy had to convince them that this is an interactive way to help them learn complicated issues like climate change.
We have 50 participants, but I think around 40 of them are 10 times better at playing Minecraft than I am. We would otherwise have training sessions to familiarize them with the game, but it wasn't super necessary with this group.
So get this, in the Raincraft project, there is this team called SpongeBob. It's a trial of two college kids and this super young whiz kid who was only in 8th grade when she hopped on board. These guys came up with an idea.
A system that filters the grey water to feed into an aquatic pond as a feature on the campus landscape. It's such a great idea.
Technical alert! Grey water is a wastewater that comes from sinks, washing machine, bathtubs, and shower. If it gets mixed up with toilet wastewater, which makes it harder to filter, then it's called black water.
Everyone in the project was full of surprises. There was this one person who knew a ton about chemistry. They brought in all these cool ideas about how to treat grey water with special microorganisms, turning it into clean water. Pretty neat, huh? I have to say that I learned a lot from them about Minecraft skills too. There were a lot of things that I didn't think could be done in Minecraft, but when they recorded their screen and showed it to me, I was like, oh, so Minecraft can do this and that. Also, because all the participants all came from different fields, when they designed the models, they brought their respective expertise to the table. That's something I learned a lot, like about how you can treat water using microorganisms, like which microorganisms work and how they function, or different designs of drainage system. Even though I designed this project for them, I know that there's something wrong with the drainage system on campus we're working with. I still don't know how to solve it. They surprised me with their creativity and the application of physical principles to make a particular idea sound plausible. They taught me so much.
Remember the whiz kid in the SpongeBob team I mentioned earlier? That's Vo Nguyen Minh Thuy, the youngest member of the entire Raincraft fleet. She's 14, but she does not speak like one.
Nhóm em là nhóm SpongeBob.
So we came up with something called an aqua mushroom treatment. It is a mushroom shape, so that's why we gave it that name. It's a system that filters grey water at school. The system would filter wastewater from the school and purify it for reuse. And that water then goes into a pond for the fish and water the plants. Students would be close to nature with this model. The water treatment part, it is using nanobubble fundamentals and is underneath the pond and could be a learning opportunities for any student, of course, to go down and see it for themselves.
Nanobubble tech is all about making super tiny bubbles that do some pretty cool things, like making water cleaner. These bubbles are teeny tiny, like thousands of a hair's width. They hang out longer in water because they have more surface area touching the water. It's used in stuff like cleaning water, healthcare, and farming. Like in water cleaning, it's awesome at pulling out dirt, bacteria, and the nasty stuff. Thuy and her teammates were researching which technology would work with the idea, and voila! It made it a star of the aquatic pond model.
I'm really hoping everyone is going to look into our idea because I think it's pretty unique. The part where we build a fresh water pond is my favorite. It's this cool spot for students to be closer to greenery. I'm crossing my fingers. that our idea is going to get incorporated into the larger school planning. Because getting students close to nature isn't easy, you know. The actual plan on campus where we build our idea on were actually uncared for. They kept drying or dying. It's happened a lot and it's not cool. That's why we are jazzed about this freshwater pond idea. We also add different plans to make nature a part of the classroom. Plants don't always get the love they need, and people lose interest. But the plants are part of the water filtration system, so it will always get the water it needs. We're also planning to get other students involved in taking care of it and keeping the system running smoothly if it ever becomes a reality. We have learned a lot from what didn't work from those who tried to revive things like this before us.
Not only is she the youngest, Thu is also one of the few girls in the Raincraft project. Out of the 50 participants, only about 10 are girls. The rest are all boys.
I have noticed that in tech-related projects, there are more men. But in projects related to foreign languages, culture, or art, there are more women. And when it's come to expressing opinion, however, there isn't much of a gender difference because everyone contributes and speaks their mind. It's not like if you are a woman, you don't have the right to speak. So, although the number in Raincraft may be skewed toward men, the voice of the women are still very important.
Thuy, Raincraft project lead, also admits that the gender imbalance is a bit off.
It's true that we should have a gender balance. I've noticed that when exchanging ideas and finding solutions, the female students are more thoughtful. They focus more on the details, so almost all groups have both male and female members. Only 2 groups are all male, and for the rest, I can see the female members leading the groups quite well.
According to the UN Labor Agency, in Vietnam, women make up about a third of the workforce in the tech field. That's higher than the global average of 25. But in Vietnam, most of these women in tech usually hold positions like marketing, sales, admin, and human resources. Not so much the techie roles like software development. There are a bunch of reasons why the number of women in tech is still limited. There's a lack of policies and programs to encourage women to join tech. And there are still these old school ideas that women don't fit in this field. One way to break these barriers and empower women more is by starting early, by making sure girls get to learn about STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. Also, creating an environment where they can get involved, learn, and practice in STEM-related projects would be a huge step forward. For Thu, Raincraft had that sort of impact on her.
When I first joined, I was a bit scared. I feel like since I had just finished junior high, my knowledge might not be as extensive as everyone else. So I was a bit anxious and shy in the beginning. In the first few days, I hardly spoke to anyone. But the environment that Raincraft created for me was amazing. After getting to know more people, they encouraged me and supported me a lot. So I became more confident. I started speaking my mind, making friends, and getting to know many new people. It was great. Before, I was hesitant to just simply voice my opinion. But now, I'm very proactive. I take initiative. I feel like I have grown a lot since the Raincraft program. I have learned that connecting with the people around me is important. I express my opinions because even if they are not entirely right, there might be something useful that can still contribute to the process and make it even better.
Environmental education initiatives like Raincraft in Cần Thơ City shows a promising way forward for the Mekong Delta region. For years, the people of Cần Thơ and the Mekong Delta more broadly have been dealing with many water issues. Here's Professor Lê Anh Tuấn from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources at Cần Thơ University.
Những cái năm gần đây cho thấy rằng là tình trạng ngập lụt này nó
Urban flooding has been on the rise in recent years due to gradual land subsidence. It is caused by natural flooding, especially in September and October, combined with rainfall and high tides. At the same time, the drainage and flood prevention systems haven't been upgraded and maintained accordingly. This has caused many challenges for the residents.
Natural flooding, or mùa nước nổi in Vietnamese, refers to the natural seasons of the Mekong River water going up and down. Professor Tuấn decodes for us the complex relationship that people in the Mekong Delta have with water. The fluctuation of water levels is not entirely negative and requires adaptability, not resistance. Over decades, the natural water flow of the river has been disrupted by many factors like dikes and dams. But in 2017, the government issued Resolution 120, a framework that allows many people to come up with new initiatives and projects to practice sustainability as an attempt to reverse the impacts of years of exploiting nature in the Delta.
From an agricultural perspective, natural flooding in the Mekong Delta brings water, silt, fish, and flushes out the toxins from the soil. This is beneficial and part of the river ecosystem. But on the socio-economic side, it is very problematic. For example, in high population density areas, infrastructure like schools, factories, or production facilities may be disrupted or at risk due to flooding. So, when we evaluate the damage caused by flooding and choose a solution, we must consider which areas need the natural flooding to restore what it needs, and which areas need to be protected to minimize damage, like residential or industrial areas. The key issue here is that we need a more comprehensive understanding of the Mekong Delta across its entire wide area.
When I met Professor Tuấn a few months ago at a seminar in Cần Thơ, he shared his desire to pass the torch to his students, encouraging them to dive into research and action for the Mekong Delta and climate change while he supports them. And when I caught up with him again for this podcast, his message is the same. He was really excited about ideas Gen Z can contribute. When I told him about Raincraft project, he even asked me to connect with Thuy to brainstorm more ideas.
When young people take initiative like that, even adults who initially see them as children start to take notice. It means these young individuals can educate not only others their age, but also older people. In reality, our age doesn't necessarily mean that we know better. At the same time, I believe that educators, policymakers, and government officials should support young people and guide them towards activities that have some environmental aspect to it. There is no one-size-fits-all formula for this. It depends on the leaders to take charge and steer the youth. This way, you can inspire them to generate more ideas and foster creativity.
Here's Thuy again, talking about how she's going to make that happen beyond Vietnam's borders.
Raincraft is a series. After completing the Vietnam chapter, our team will organize another Raincraft in Bali using the Raincraft education modules developed here in Vietnam for the participants there. There will be some changes in the workshop topics though. Over there, people will be more interested in redesigning public spaces. We are also eyeing Thailand and Laos for the next Raincraft installments for the near future, and also organizing a Raincraft union that will bring together winning teams from different countries.
Thu, the youngest star on the Raincraft team in Vietnam, is part of one of those winning teams that might just snatch a ticket to the union. And I'm telling you, this time around, Thu is gonna step up and shine.
These days, I see many young people, both in university and high school, are very active in coming together to address climate change. It's great to see people so enthusiastic about working together to make a difference. I think that the voice of the youth, of the young generation, is so important because some people think that they are still young and others might think that we may not know much. But in reality, we actually do know stuff and we also improve our understanding of things. So I think people should listen to us. What we say may have some mistakes in it, but even if there are mistakes, there must be some truth in it too, you know? So I hope that our voice, the young people's voice, are taken seriously. Because we are still the one who will carry on the war. We are the next generation. That's why if things don't change now, we will be the one most affected in the future.
That's it for today's episode on Descendants of Hai Bà Trưng podcast. This episode was hosted and written by me, Sen Nguyen, and edited by Giang Phạm. We at UNDP would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think and see you in the next one.